They made it happen. They got behind it.
Next generation programs.
Partnership 2000 involving a people-to-people program with the people in Israel.
The Professional Excellence Program.
A program called Benot Buddies.
At the JCC, at the Jewish Federation.
Professional Excellence.
The B'nai Tzedek Youth Philanthropy Program.
The PJ Library.
Activities and services for children.
Shalom, St. Louis.
They provided the seed funding to launch Elder Lake. Each of these addressed a real need in our community that we couldn't otherwise handle through our normal resources. They made it happen. They got behind it. And now we have excellent services because of it. I think we really understand today that impact and leadership is not just about doing, it's about having a vision, a sense of direction that animates the work that you do. And each of these families really brings a unique and passionate, defining vision to their work, and that has been shown over and over in terms of the impact that their personal and their supporting foundation philanthropy has had.
My grandfather had always said that he never heard of anybody going broke from giving.
I remember going to Sunday school, and we always had, even if we didn't have any money, we always had to take that nickel to put in the tzedakah box.
And way back when, my mother had a little paper or cardboard box in the kitchen on top of the refrigerator called the pishka, and she'd say, take your change and throw it in the pishka. And that was a box that you threw in money for the poor.
My parents also didn't give a lot of money, but they certainly gave of their time. And I think that that showed me and my siblings that you can give back to the community, whether it's a monetary way or a volunteer way, or both.
I saw how generous my father was and how he tried to help others who were less fortunate, and my mother as well.
From the very beginning, when we got married, we both agreed you had to give to charity. Charity has always been an important part of our family. And as the years went by, at first there wasn't much to give, but fortunately, as the years went by, there was more and more to give.
If we didn't help those people, generally, no one else probably would. So whether it's a sense of charity, whether it's a sense of feeling a need, whether it's a sense of feeling that you have an obligation, or whatever it is, I'm not sure. Maybe it's a combination of all of those. But we felt that the best way to do this was through a foundation that had its ties in the Jewish community.
One would really want to look at the Lubin Green, which was our first, celebrating its 25th anniversary. There are several major programs and projects in this community that came about solely through the inspiration and support of the Lubin Green Foundation.
It changed the methodology of philanthropy in our St. Louis Jewish community.
My husband and I started our foundation 25 years ago. And it really grew out of the seed of the Max Lubin Trust or Foundation. Max Lubin was my husband's uncle, and we really took it from there.
The foundation tries to look at emerging needs and opportunities and address those needs and opportunities, whether it's Partnership 2000 involving a people-to-people program with the people in Israel, or whether it's Professional Excellence trying to recruit, maintain, and improve the quality of our professionals, or whether it's Shalom, St. Louis, or ElderLink. These are all innovative projects that address the needs and opportunities in the Jewish community, and the Lubin Green Foundation is the trailblazer.
We realize that Jews, particularly Jews in other countries, generally had lived in very meager existence. They were usually a minority. There's a saying, they were strangers in other people's lands. And that was true. They were a minority in every country that they lived in. And as a result, they really didn't prosper very well. And when you saw that around the world, as we did, as Carol and I both did, you realize that if we didn't help our fellow Jews, no one else was going to do it.
Their efforts to connect the St. Louis Jewish community with Israel have been absolutely at the cutting edge.
They really are the role models that so many of us follow.
It was my hope that in '85, after we started the support foundations, that what's the story? You'll open the gates and they will come. We opened the gates, but nobody came. It took a number of years before we got the second one, which was Mike and Carol Steinberg. And Michael has been Michael and Carol both have been a tremendous attribute to our community.
The Family Foundation was started in 2003 with the goal of having a single entity distribute money back to the community through our Family Foundation.
They're involved not only charitably through financial support, but they're also involved in terms of donating their time and their energy and expertise, which is quite vast.
Also, I think it helped us to focus in on what our mission would be and how we could, the best for us to give back to the community and what would help the community the most.
And I felt that by our involvement with the Jewish Community Center, that we could touch and help more Jewish lives in St. Louis than any other organization.
They have a keen sense for identifying causes, charities, institutions that are addressing needs that otherwise would go unmet, that are in need of not only financial support, but moral support, active participation, and a sense of sustainability.
And you look at what they achieved in the creation of the new Steinberg Family Complex, the new JCC. This is state-of-the-art. It's a spectacular accomplishment, driven by a vision.
It's a nice way to get your family involved. We have our kids involved, that we set an example for our kids. Hopefully they will not be a lost generation where it's skipping, and we get them involved and they understand how important it is, and the Family Foundation allows them to understand what we're doing. And hopefully we're setting a good example for them, which will allow the generations to come to continue the same commitment that Carol and I have established.
Our Jewish values and that repairing the world, Tikkun Olam, starts with our own community and how we can bring this community together, people who are not as privileged as we are, to help them to feel good about themselves.
Most of our foundation is locally based, and we want to help because we live here and make St. Louis a great place and want people to want to make this their home.
If we look at the Kranzberg Foundation, their focus on the next generation and the Jewish future has enabled us to either expand wonderful programs like PJ Library or bring new programs like the B'nai Tzedek Youth Philanthropy Program to St. Louis. These are the kinds of new ideas that we need to bring here to build a brighter future for our community.
They're really focused on next generation programs throughout the community, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a Jewish Federation agency. So very out-of-the-box kinds of programs that are impacting the next generation of leadership from the ages of 6 to, I guess, mid-30s.
Clearly their impact in the arts and culture in our community are well known, but also their incredible impact and efforts to reduce bias, to fight for human rights, and to protect people who are oppressed is a very compelling vision that they've worked for decades on.
I mean, I made some money, and there was enough money to do something special. So that seemed like a logical thing to do.
They shine. They are always very giving of their ideas, very thoughtful and passionate when they speak. And I really always learn something whenever I'm in a room with them.
When Nancy and I gave the foundation, what we decided was that it was be exclusively for the Jewish community, the St. Louis Jewish community.
Another is this whole concept of tzedakah, giving back to community for our teens. So there's a wonderful program out of the Central Agency for Jewish Education called B'nai Tzedek. And that is for kids to set up their own foundations to give. So the Kranzberg family infuses money into that program, and the kids put in their own money, and then they can help decide what they want to fund and start their philanthropic career at a very young age. So it really helps to propel others to start thinking in philanthropic ways.
First of all, we're just so lucky. You know, I've said that before. You know, this one has sold an awful lot of bottles and made it awfully easy for me. But, you know, how can we live such a nice, easy life and not think of others? And I think it's a part of the whole Jewish culture and heritage that from early on we learned that giving back was an absolute necessity.
When you think about the collective impact of these families on our community, the thousands of people they have touched, either by providing direct assistance to people in need, inspiring greater involvement in Jewish life, enriching our lives through art and culture, you just have to be blown away by the impact that their philanthropy has had on our lives and on the lives of people. And they should be, and I think are, an incredible inspiration for all of us.
It's a great feeling to know that the community that you're in appreciates what you're doing and that it shows. And so I feel very blessed that we're able to do this kind of work and that it is recognized, and that's very much appreciated.
If it encourages other people to begin supporting foundations, and this honoring helps that to happen, then it will have been worthwhile.
They've inspired me just to want to pass on those same values to my own children.
It's a little embarrassing, but I'm very proud that Ken has made it possible for us to help out.
It's very rewarding to us. It's really quite wonderful, and we're very proud of that.
I think we're humbled by being honored. We didn't start the foundation. We haven't done the things we had really to get any honors. We've done it because we felt there was a need and we felt it was the right thing to do.
I just want to say thank you for allowing us to do it. We should thank the community because it's an opportunity to thank everybody here for allowing us to do what we want to do and to show people that you can make a difference.